Last time, we talked about a crazy twist and turn in Abraham's life. This time, I want to go back to the beginning, not of his life, but of his God-driven life. So let's grab our gear and start our travel through Abraham's origin story. Welcome back to My Life His Way, a place where we get to learn more about who our captain is and how we can live our lives in sync to his will. So Abraham's origin story starts in Genesis chapter 12, and here he's still named Abram, so let's just dive in. Verse 1. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. So here, God is calling Abram for the first time, and Abram here means exalted father. But at this point, he still wasn't a dad, and I think that's really cool that that's what his name means. Verse 2, And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. So we start off Abram's story with blessings and promises. And God says, look, not only will I bless you, but I will also make you a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him, and Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, so his nephew, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. So again we see here Abram, no questions asked. He was 75 years old and willing to start over, to start with a new, clean, fresh slate with the God he is just beginning to know. Okay, let's go to verse 6. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sichem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. So here God promises this land to Abram, yet it was not time for him to receive this land or for his people to receive this land. Okay? And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and Hai on the east. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord and called upon the name of the Lord. And Abram journeyed, going on still toward the south. So he continues his journey. He doesn't wait here to see when God will give him this land that he told him he would give him. No, he continues going like God told him to. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. This episode is sponsored by Sukram Tea Co. Sukram Tea Co is a company paying tribute to their Indian, Jamaican, and Central American roots. Each tea is handcrafted to provide a deliciously unique experience to your palate. Each tea is not only tasty, but also great for your body. Each flower and herb is picked specifically with your body's healing in mind. Check them out on their Etsy store, Sukram Tea Co. SUKRAM Tea Co. So here we see the big lie, the very first test that Abram was given in telling the truth, right? And as we mentioned last time about his big test, this is the one. This is the first one that God gives him to see if he will remain faithful and to trust in him, right? So technically, Abram only half lied, right? Because we know that Sarai was his half sister, but still, he should have just gone in faith, trusting that God would protect them from the Egyptian king, that hopefully they turn a blind eye to his wife, who he knew and everyone else knew was beautiful, right? So, verse 14, and it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abram well for her sake, and he had sheep and oxen, and he asses and men servants and maidservants and she asses and camels. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. Okay, so because Abram lied, Pharaoh got punished, but Pharaoh didn't know what was happening, right? So let's continue. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, "What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, she is my sister? So I might have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore behold thy wife, take her and go thy way." And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away and his wife and all that he had. So here is the first big twist and turn, the first big test in the life of Abram and Sarai, right? This is their first joint lie during their life following Christ or following God. Okay, so we know later on in his life he does this again with another king, and the same question is asked, why? The lack of faith that Abraham had is shown here. And it reminds us that even though he is called a friend of God and he is this mighty, amazing man, father of the nations, right, that he is still 100% human who gets scared, right? It's natural for us to be scared when we're put in these kinds of situations and to sometimes forget that God put us here and that he will bring us through, because he does not give us anything or put us in any kind of situation that he does not think that we can handle, right? So this was God testing and seeing if Abram and Sarai would be able to handle this test of telling the truth, of being faithful in what seemed like an impossible situation, right? When we put our lives at risk for him, it's part of the journey. And as first mates on this ship, we're supposed to trust our captain fully with no questions asked, right? So we read here in a commentary about Abram, about his lack of faith, and it says, during his stay in Egypt, Abraham gave evidence that he was not free from human weakness and imperfection. In concealing the fact that Sarah was his wife, he betrayed a distrust of the divine care, a lack of that lofty faith encouraged so often and nobly exemplified in his life. Sarah was fair to look upon, and he doubted not that the dusky Egyptians would covet the beautiful stranger and that in order to secure her, they would not scruple to slay her husband. He reasoned that he was not guilty of falsehood in representing Sarah as his sister, for she was the daughter of his father, though not of his mother. But this concealment of the real relation between them was a deception. No deviation from strict integrity can meet God's approval. Through Abraham's lack of faith, Sarah was placed in great peril. The king of Egypt, being informed of her beauty, caused her to be taken to his palace, intending to make her his wife. But the Lord, in his great mercy, protected Sarah by sending judgments upon the royal household. By this means, the monarch learned the truth in the matter, and, indignant at the deception practiced upon him, he reproved Abraham and restored to him his wife, saying, "What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why saidst thou, She is my sister? So I might have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore behold thy wife, take her, and go thy way." Patriarchs and Prophets, page 130. So, Abraham, Sarah, Abram, Sarai, before their names were changed, failed this test, right? Abraham showed his lack of faith, showed that he was still 100% human, even after everything that God has already given to him at the beginning of this journey. As we continue journeying through the life of Abraham, of Abram, of Sarah, Sarai, let us remember that these people in the Bible were still human, and they're very much like me, right? And being faithful isn't always the first thing at the forefront of our mind, but we should make it the first thing that we think about when someone tells us to do something, or God tells us to do something, or facing a tough situation, that we should do what we know is right, not take the easy way out, because it's not telling the truth in some situations. Let us always choose to continue on the journey that we know God has put us on. When we say, "I will go," continue to go. Don't stray. Continue to follow the captain, follow the star, follow the map that we are intended to watch and to lead off of and go forward with.